What's going on, family? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to do a review on this beautiful 2020 Cadillac CT5. Before we get into the video, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, like the video, and tell me what your thoughts are on the CT5. So today specifically, we're going to be taking a look at the 350T. This is the 2-liter turbo version of the Cadillac CT5. It has 237 horsepower, 258 foot-pounds of torque. Now there is a faster version, which is going to be the 3-liter V6 that is also turbocharged, and that comes with 335 horsepower and 400 foot-pounds of torque. But let's go ahead and take a look at the 350T. So taking a look at the exterior of the CT5, this car looks amazing. You have LED lights that run just here, down the entire front bumper and the fender, which looks absolutely amazing. Coming to the rear end, you also have LED tail lights here, which again looks absolutely amazing. Coming to the trunk, you have your rear view camera, which is extremely clear. I will show you guys how clear that is in just a second. Opening up the trunk, you have a lot of room back here, especially for the class of this vehicle, okay? The back seats do let down if you needed some extra space, but one thing I will say that I like, of course, you can close your trunk here, and I typically hate touching the actual vehicle to close the trunk, but there's almost like this lid here that's perfect for closing the car. So again, if I had a black car, I probably wouldn't do it, but having a white car, you know, you're not going to leave any fingerprints and it's not going to look too bad. And as a matter of fact, you can even grab it here and close it that way. I think that is pretty cool. As you can see here, you have your reverse lights at the bottom of the bumper, which kind of mimics the Corvette in a sense. You have dual exhausts, okay? As you can see, these here are just for styling, but you have your exhaust pipe deeper in there. Before we jump inside, I do want to point out a few things to you guys. Here you have the Cadillac emblem that is ingrained into the actual door. I think that's pretty cool. And then here, to open the car, there's actually a button back here. You can see that you press and it releases, okay? So again, the handle doesn't move itself. You have to push that button and it opens. Coming inside this vehicle, to me, is where it really shines. Look at that. You close the door, you have your Cadillac emblem come up. Now, my first impression when I came in here was this car is so sleek looking. Like, it is absolutely beautiful. It really is. Let's talk about the finish here. I don't know if you guys can see this design here. You can probably see more of my reflection, but there is a design that is on each and every one of these doors. Now your dashboard isn't like a soft material. It is a hard plastic. Until you come over here, it is a little bit softer. The doors are soft as well, but you know, it's not the, you know, softest material. All 4 windows are going to be automatic up and down. Here you have your parking brake, which is just a simple button to press. Coming along to the dash, you have your dashboard, which is all digital. And when you start the car up, it actually does not look digital at all. It looks like it is an analog, but again, you can't see it when the car is off. Coming to the steering wheel, you have all of your cruise control options within this one button here. You have your heated steering wheel here. Here you have your front collision monitor. You have your phone hang up, your speaker. Over here, you have your volume. This is so you can scroll through some options as well, okay? Coming down to the center console area, here you have your different modes. We'll go over that in just a second. Traction control. I haven't gotten to what the auto hold is. And then you have your auto stop start. You got your shifter. I love this shifter. I am not going to lie to you. Okay. And then you have your options where you can mess with your audio here. Okay. So you got your left, right. You have a knob. You can go to the music, phone. You can go back home. And then again, you can return to, you know, whatever screen you're on. Okay. You got 2 cup holders here. They're not that deep, but they are decent. Underneath your armrest, you do have a good amount of space. I haven't had any issues fitting anything in here. I have my GoPro with my handle, my battery charger, my other batteries, mask. So I've had a good amount of things in here and I didn't have any issues with fitment. Again, coming to the screen, amazing screen. It's a very, very nice size. And here you have all of your temperature controls, okay? Here you have your hazards, got your heated seat for the driver, heated seat for the passenger, okay? Again, this vehicle is super dope, okay? Let's go up top here. You can turn off your lights here if you want to when the door is open. Usually I do turn those off, but with this car and these LED lights, it is so amazing. I'm going to show you guys that in just a moment. Here you can turn off the dome light. You have 3 garage settings that you can use. Now we're going to jump into the back seat. Now I am 5'10", about 175, 180. and I have the seat fitted the way that I like it to be, okay? Now I'm in the back seat. I have plenty of room back here. I have plenty of headroom, as you guys can see, and this is just with my hair, all right? So it may look close. Now that I put my hand up there, it does feel close, but I'm not uncomfortable at all. Now, someone that is going to be, you know, 6'4", 6'5", they may have a problem getting back here. But for me, I'm 5'10". I think someone 6 feet would be fine. Of course, depending on their hairstyle. While in the back seat, the passenger does have their own cigarette lighter. That way they can charge their phone. And then here's another option for them to charge their phone as well, which is pretty cool, pretty convenient. Now that I'm in the back of the car and I turned around, I hadn't realized how small the back window is, but there's no problem when it comes to vision from the driver's seat. So we're gonna go ahead and fire this puppy up and show you guys what it looks like. Now, just to go over some of the features, the heated steering wheel gets hot pretty quick, which is very, very impressive. I do know it's a new car, but you know, my cars are older. This is a new technology to me, okay? Going through your modes here, as you can see, you have your different modes. In regards to the driving modes, you have My Mode, which can be custom. You have Tour, which is going to be more comfortable. You have Sport, then you have Snow, Ice, and then it goes back up to My Mode. So you do have a few different features. And if you look at this item right here, it will adjust as I update the drive mode, okay? So Tour doesn't show anything. Sport mode will give you that flag. Snow, Ice will give you the snowflake. And then My Tour will give you you as a person with the steering wheel, okay? Of course, I always keep mine on Sport because you never know when things need to get nasty. Now let's talk about the gear selector. I know this is probably more of a modern technology. People are coming up with different ways to use the shifter. You know, Chrysler, you have this here, which again, it's not in this instance, but they have a dial such as this one to go into drive, reverse, neutral. Here you have your shifter, and there's a button here that you have to use in order to put it into gear. So you got reverse, and as we go into reverse, look at that screen. I do want to show you guys how clear the backup camera is. Now, for me personally, I don't really use backup cameras, but for those who do use them, I mean, this is very, very realistic. All right, so coming back down to the shifter, if you go down, it goes into drive. It does skip over neutral. If you wanted to put it into neutral, you have to go to drive and then go back up just once, and it'll put it in neutral for you, okay? So we're going back down to drive. If you want to put it into manual mode, all you do is pull it down one more time and it'll switch modes for you, okay? Again, if you're in manual mode, boom, hit it again and it'll go into drive for you. You can do that while you're driving as well. If you want to turn off your auto start, hit that button there, it'll turn that off for you. While taking a look at the screen here, you have your audio, your phone, your Wi-Fi. Different users can have the phone. Got your settings, got the Apple CarPlay, Android CarPlay, you got apps. That's just on the second screen. You go over to your third screen, you got your OnStar, your climate control, My Cadillac. I would imagine that that's where you set your settings. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. Okay, so look at that. Scheduled service, you got your plans, roadside assistance, and learn about the CT5. Your owner's manual is included within your technology. Okay, so for example, you got your search by keyword. Let's look up the auto hold. AUTOHOLD, because I don't know what that is. I want to look it up and see what it says. It is thinking. All right. Okay, so it's showing me the auto hold button there, so I can scroll down. Oh, okay, perfect. So taking a look at this, it says when automatic vehicle hold is turned on and the vehicle is braked to a stop, AVH prevents the vehicle from moving during the transition from brake pedal release to accelerator pedal apply. The brakes release when the accelerator pedal is applied. So that is pretty cool. You got your manual in here. Again, you got your home button here, and you also have a home button here. So we can hit either home button and it takes us back. Now, screen number one is the radio. It shows me the climate is off. If I turn that climate on, and boom, Looking at your settings for the radio, looks like you can have about 20 settings. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, and 20, okay? I think that is pretty cool. Let's go back to the home. So you got your audio, which is cool, FM, Bluetooth, got your Sirius. We can go home. You got your phone, which you can connect if you want to. I never connect my phone in rental cars. Got your Wi-Fi hotspot there. That's amazing, okay? The name is CT5 Wi-Fi. That's pretty cool just in case you are in a stranded area and you don't have any service, okay? I think that is actually huge. You have your users. Again, you can have multiple users, I would think. Yep, you can customize this vehicle for different drivers. Again, something that is pretty cool that can be very handy for purchase. You got your settings here, time, date, language, phones. You know, I don't have to go into that stuff, but that stuff is pretty cool. Got your Apple CarPlay, your Android CarPlay. Now, one thing that I will say is as soon as you plug your phone up to one of these, it will automatically recognize whether your phone is an Apple or an Android. And if you have that app, it'll go ahead and play what it needs to play. You got your apps here. Okay, so you got audiobook, Spotify, you have Amazon, Alexa, iHeartRadio, Pandora. This is pretty cool. Okay, let's go over one more time. So then you have your OnStar, climate control, My Cadillac Marketplace, Alexa, Spotify, and your Cadillac Maps, which is for your navigation. Okay, I believe there was an issue with the previous infotainment system for Cadillac. People didn't like it. I think they felt it was sluggish, it was slow. This is immediate. I mean, as soon as I move it, it's all touchscreen, which is understandable in this day and age. But as soon as you hit a button, it reacts right away. There's no delay unless it has to think. And it had to think on My Cadillac. It took a second, but now look at that. It's quick, right? So maybe no one has opened this previously and it hasn't been used. But My Plans, see, now it's thinking. And I guarantee when I go back to My Plans again, it will not need to think as much, okay? So let's try it. We go home, we go to My Cadillac, it goes right away. I need to go back. Owner's manual. That was another spot that took a while to think, and it's not doing it now that we have went into those. But My Plans are still doing it, okay? Now, one thing that I will say about the car that I don't like so far is that it feels like the floorboard is super high, but it could be because I just have my seat so low. But I did notice that as soon as I got in the car and I kind of let the seat down, it feels like, you know, my knees are extremely high. But again, you can fix that by letting the seat up. But for a tall person, they're not going to be able to let the seat up, elevate the seat, because they are going to probably hit their head on the headliner. Okay, now one thing that we did notice about this car, and I don't know why, this seat goes back so far. It just keeps going, keeps going, keeps going, and it finally stops. I don't know who's gonna drive like this, but they shouldn't even give people the option to drive like this. This is not safe, trust me. All right, fam, so I do want to point out the fact that I thought the floorboard was high. You can see here it's lower and then it rises right here. So it is a little high here for some reason. All right, family, so I wanted to show you guys something very special with this vehicle, but I needed it to be dark in order to show you just how special it is. As you walk up to the vehicle, if you have the key in your pocket, it opens up for you. It does turn on all the lights. So you see the tail lights come on, your license plate lights come on, interior lights come on, and then your headlights also come on. So taking a close look at this vehicle at nighttime, it is very attention grabbing. As you can see, those headlights are just absolutely amazing. That LED stripe that comes down just right here is probably one of the best ideas that Cadillac came up with for their headlights. It is just absolutely stunning. Coming around the vehicle, and of course this white look is just absolutely amazing. You got your LED tail lights, LED license plates bulb, and again, everything's just so sleek with this car. I really think they killed it and nailed it with the design on the Cadillac CT5. All right, family, so you get into the car, you got your Cadillac emblem. Now you would think that this is an analog type of instrument cluster, but it's all digital, and you can tell by the fact that you cannot see it when the car is off. But just to give you guys an idea of what the car looks like at nighttime, again, very lit up, very elegant, very, very impressive. So looking into the back seat, you guys can see that it's pretty dark. Again, very impressive. Once you turn off that car, the LED lights does a magnificent job of lighting up the car. So if you do have anything in your back seats that you need to grab, again, everything is very visible. Very important to make sure you get everything you need out the car. Maybe something in the back seat. It does have a reminder that if there is something that it senses on the back seat, there's a rear seat reminder that you need to get your items, okay? All right, family, so we're gonna go ahead and do a launch here and see how this car responds, see what the power is like in this 4-cylinder. So that was to 50, and I will say that although looking at the speed, it's not that quick and it did take a while to get there, it feels like it moves, right? So if I had to merge into traffic, I think I would do it just fine. Now, one thing that I will say about the car is that you can hit it and not get in trouble, which is always good, right? If you get a fast car, if I'd hit it for that amount of time, I could have been doing 100 miles per hour, which is not good on any street. Now, one thing that I will say is that when it shifts gears, when accelerating fast, it is very smooth. And sometimes it's cool to have a car that's a little bit more aggressive, but I must admit that I do like the fact that it is so smooth. Let's see if we can do another one. We're rolling at 23 and all right, so again, going with that Cadillac CT5 3-liter turbocharged engine, I think it would get you that power that you really want to feel with this car. But as a base model, this one is not bad at all. All right, family, so I want to see what this car can do from like a 40 roll, okay, 45, and let's just see what it does real quick. It's all right, it's not bad. It moves a little bit. I feel like 40 may be a bad speed for it because when I drive, it feels like it's a little bit more peppy just at certain times, but for some reason that didn't pull like the way I thought it would. I just merged into the highway just a second ago and it felt like it was super peppy. So I think the key to this car is catching it at the correct RPM, and that way it can do what it needs to do. All right, family, so now we're rolling at 60. We're gonna merge, give it some power, see what it does. Honestly, it's not bad for a luxury sedan that it's not based on performance necessarily. I don't think it's too bad. As far as I know, it's not like a V Sport, if they still make those. It's not a V. It's not a Blackwing. So for it to be what it is, I don't think that it's that bad in terms of performance. It gets up and go, and I must say that the transmission shifts gears extremely smooth, especially when I was getting on it just now. It was just so smooth. So again, kudos to Cadillac for that. One thing I intended to show you guys in the nighttime is that these ports here all light up, right? So instead of turning on your lights, you can see exactly where you need to put your USB, maybe like your charger or your SD card, which is absolutely amazing. You don't have to turn on your dome lights. These are just illuminated so you can see. All right, family, so one thing that I will say about this vehicle as well is that all the buttons feel very solid. I mean, they don't feel like fake or, you know, plastic-y in a sense. They actually feel very well, very secure, very tight, as if they have some quality to them. So again, to put the car in manual mode, you can simply do it while you're driving, and then that way you can just go through the gears yourself with the paddle shifters. And again, the paddle shifters feel pretty decent as well. We're gonna do a pull with the paddle shifters and see how smooth it is. All right, so here we go with the paddle shifters. So decent. I did brake traction just a little bit there, so it's enough power to brake traction. So here we have a right turn. We'll see at a decent speed how it takes this turn. Again, decent. So it felt like it wanted to get loose coming out of that turn. it's smooth. It is a smooth car, and I do like that about it. Now, this is a 10-speed transmission, so you are going to be going through the gears a bunch if you're trying to use these paddle shifters, but it does make it more fun. Family, one thing about when you're driving the vehicle, you can see here, there's that green indication of where the car is. If I get close to that car, it'll turn yellow, as you can see, and that means that you're getting too close, okay? Now, as I hit the brake, it does turn green again to let me know that I'm fine, but again, that yellow is an indication that you are getting too close. Now, I just switched lanes, and now it shows nothing because there's no cars in front of me. I was behind that truck just a second ago. So we talked about the ability to adjust the distance of the car in front of you and whether it gauges you need to slow down or not. And as you can see, there's the gap adjustment there. So you can adjust that, you know, 3 car, 2 car, 1 car. And I'm not sure if the car length is the actual distance, but again, it can be modified in that way. Now, when it comes to shifting the gears, the downshifts are a lot more responsive. As soon as you hit it, it jumps up in gear. But when you upshift, it does take a second to recognize it. So I'm accelerating, I hit it, and then it went up, okay? So again, there's a small delay when it comes to upshifting, but downshifting is right on point. Another item that I would like to talk about, now we did discuss that this car has a 2-liter turbo. There is some serious turbo lag when it comes to this vehicle. In just a second, I'm going to accelerate and I'll show you guys how delayed the acceleration is. Now, it could be the turbochargers, it could be the transmission. So we'll try it in 2 different scenarios. Number 1, we'll try it with it in automatic, and then we'll try it in manual mode to see if there's any difference. So here we're in automatic mode. Let's go ahead and hit the accelerator. Now you guys hopefully you'll hear me hit the accelerator and you can see when it takes off, okay? 1, 2, 3. So I hope you guys were able to hear how I hit the pedal, and it did not do anything initially, and it just took a little bit of time. So let's go ahead and try this one more time. We're riding at 58 miles per hour, and slam, and then it picks up and goes. So once it goes, it is decent. Oh, it's a cop right there. All right, family, so here we're gonna do a first gear pull with the car already rolling, just to see if there's any lag. And see, straighten up, and so there is still a little bit of turbo lag. Again, 1, 2, 3, and then turbos kick in there. So there's just a small turbo lag. And same thing with the pedal shifters. If I accelerate, and so it wasn't that bad that time actually. So maybe it's just about getting it just right in order for it to be a lot quicker when you upshift. In all, would I purchase this vehicle? If I was to purchase this vehicle personally, I think I would go with the 3-liter turbocharged with more power. I think I would enjoy that power more if I was going to spend this much money. I know new cars are expensive anyway, but to spend $38,000 on this just seems like it's a bit high for me personally, okay? But in terms of all of the luxuries and the features that it has, I definitely think it's worth the money. For an older person who is not concerned as much about power, or a younger person who's not concerned about power, I think this is a very good buy, okay? I do believe that it is the cheaper option in its class compared to like the BMW, the Mercedes. So I think this is a good buy for those reasons. I appreciate you guys watching the video. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and thank you for watching. You guys take it easy.